Hello, welcome back to Psalms today. We're looking at Psalm 6 today. We're going to notice, as always, a detail to help us read the Psalm today, and then a detail to help us think about applying the Psalm, its relevance to us today. Psalm 6 is a fairly short Psalm. It's a Psalm where David is troubled. We call it a lament Psalm. It starts in a pretty negative place, but by the end, it finishes positively. And that's something that I want us to notice with laments especially. And we'll see lots of them. It's probably the most common type of psalm in the collection. But with a lament, it does start feeling kind of negative, kind of dark or heavy. But you want to make sure you get to the end to complete the thought of the psalm. And one way that the writer can help you to get that sense of completion is to use similar or same terminology at the beginning and at the end. So look at the first few verses here. O Lord, rebuke me not in your anger, nor discipline me in your wrath. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am languishing. Heal me, O Lord, for my bones are troubled. My soul also is greatly troubled. But you, O Lord, how long? Turn, O Lord, deliver my life. Save me for the sake of your steadfast love. You can sense that David is crying out to God here. He's got enemies that are against him. They get mentioned later on. But he's also troubled about himself, not wanting to be disciplined by God or rebuked by God. So there's that sense of I'm a sinner and I'm in trouble. So notice the word trouble. His bones are troubled. In fact, he says here, my soul is greatly troubled. If we just drop down to the end of the psalm here, right down in verse 10, all my enemies shall be ashamed and greatly troubled. Interestingly, there it is. Let's go back. Notice verse 4, turn. After speaking of himself and how he's feeling and his kind of difficulties, he says, Lord, how long? He says, turn, O Lord, turn in my direction, turn in the path. You know, it seems like you're taking forever, but turn and deliver my life. Come to the end, and what do we have? He's greatly troubled. Verse 10, they shall turn. The end of the psalm is looking forward to his enemies turning back and being put to shame. One more detail here. It's not the same words, but it's the same concept, where he cries out to the Lord, O Lord, how long? How long? It seems like God's taking forever, but by the end, he's able to recognize that they will turn and be put to shame in a moment. How long? Quickly. Okay, so there's that contrast. As well as the same terminology, we've got the contrast, but notice how an idea that's being communicated early is being completed at the end. Now, what can we say in terms of application from this psalm? Well, I'm struck by something as I look at it, and there's lots more, and I encourage you to share what you notice in the comments, in a message to somebody else, in an email, just share what you find when you're looking at the psalm with somebody else. But here's the thing that struck me. So, as he's coming to the end of the psalm here, I haven't read it. Let me just read from verse 8. Depart from me, O you workers of evil, for the Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. The Lord has heard my plea. The Lord accepts my prayer. And then we've got that final verse 10. It's interesting that at the beginning of the psalm, he's saying, oh God, oh Lord, how long? You seem too slow, you seem unengaged, you seem uninvolved. But by the end, he's recognizing the responsiveness of God. How can we, as sinners who are troubled by circumstances, have confidence that the Lord will be responsive to us, that he will hear us when we pray to him, that he will accept our prayer, that he will respond, that he will deal with those who are against us? How can we have confidence? Is it based on our ability to twist his arm? Is it based on how loud we cry or how many tears we shed? No, I think our confidence is based on who he is. At the start of the psalm here, it's not about these details that somehow convince God. It's this one right here. Save me for the sake of your steadfast love. Why is God responsive? Why does God answer prayers? Because he's a God of steadfast love. It's not because of us. We don't deserve it. It's because of him and the kind of God that he is. So read Psalm 6, share the highlights with others in the comments below, but most importantly, go to God, approach him, pray to him, cast all your cares on him, because like Psalm 6 is teaching us here, we can cast our cares on him because he cares for us. It's his care that drives his responsiveness. So thanks for joining me in Psalm 6, and next time we'll take a look at Psalm 7.